Good morning, everybody. How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and today I'm giving you a warning. This video is not for the light of heart. I am not going to be kind this morning. Most of you will never, ever reach your goals. Most of you will never live the life that you desire to have. Most of you will never have the spouse that you think that you deserve. Most of you will live your life with a certain level of misery and never overcome it. You will be in an unhappy marriage. You will be in unhappy living conditions. You will have a miserable, pathetic life because you will have a life that will always and consistently be in wanting. And you will never get it. Why? Because you're not willing to go through the fire. You're not willing to do what's necessary in order to get there. And yeah, this is not the rah-rah speech. And yeah, I will say that you have it within you to get there. But most of you won't do it. Now I'm only concerned about the ones who will. You see, I've been going through a lot of things over the last few years, and one of the things I realized and came to a realization of is that I don't really give a damn about what most people think about me. I don't care what you think, don't care how you perceive it. Many of you are not willing to reach out. Many of you are not willing to take that opportunity. You applaud, people when they say you gotta jump. He talks about jumping, and you're like, "Ooh, yeah, jump," but you're still standing on the cliff, looking over, wondering if it's safe. I've seen some people making pivots on Facebook, and I applaud them, and it's awesome that they are. But most people are afraid to make any kind of pivot whatsoever, and you're truly afraid of the transparency of it all. You see, I'm going to be transparent with my life, okay? You see, over the last 2 years, I've been going through a separation and divorce. And let me tell you something that I did during that time frame. I moved into my store. Yeah, at first I went out and got an apartment, but then I moved into my store. And then on New Year's Eve, I had a car wreck, right? This past New Year's Eve, I had a car wreck. I could have went out and got another car, but I decided that I won't, that I would use Uber. And when my family members found out that I was using Uber and that sort of thing, drivable cars were offered, right? And that's fine, and I respect that. And then when I pivoted my store, I could have gotten an apartment, but I chose to stay with family. And sometimes I don't even stay with family. I'd rather stay here at my store because I got work to do. I got a grind to get, right? And most people would not say that, especially people who are trying to tell you how you can become more successful in your life, because the perception is, and it's a true perception for the most part, is that you only listen to people once they have become successful. But the thing that you're missing is each one of these successful people, I've heard them all say it. They've said something in respect to, like Jim Rohn coined it best. He said, if only failures gave seminars, then the world would be much better, because we can gain more and connect better with somebody who has gone through struggles and who's currently going through a struggle than we can with people who have already reached that pinnacle of success. Most of you can't connect with Mark Cuban today. But if you were talking to Mark Cuban, who was grinding at his business, sleeping on his friends' sofas, eating banana sandwiches, then you can connect with him then. Most of you can't connect with Les Brown today. But if you was with him when he was sleeping in his office, taking a shower in his sinks, you would connect with him then. Most of you can't connect with Lisa Nichols today. But ladies, if you knew her when she was washing out her son's diapers on the daily because she couldn't afford to buy Pampers, and she had to make that promise to him that they will never be in this situation again, and the struggle and the life she went through from that moment, if you were with her then, if you was hearing her story then, you would connect to that. And I guarantee you that if you and her were grinding at the same time, then you and her would be awesome. Now, I'm going to do a Facebook Live a little bit later, but a point that came out of that Facebook Live is I'd rather date somebody who has a knowledge and an entrepreneur spirit like my own, so that we can grind together, so that she understands my grind, so that she understands what I go through, so she understands the decisions that I make concerning living in a store, living with family, not driving for now, keeping my expenses low so that I can build the company that I want to build, who also has the thought, the entrepreneur spirit to see the long play. What's the long play? This company is great, and I will build more companies that I enjoy doing. But the thing that I know my greatest talent lies in is standing on a stage in front of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and teaching them and showing them how they can become greater in their lives, how they can develop their spirituality, how they can develop their sexuality, how they can develop their business acumen so that they can have the greatest 360-degree life possible. That is my greatest talent, and what I desire to, how I desire to live my life. The beauty of it that most people don't get is that these videos, yeah, it'd be awesome. I've got some clients now. It'd be awesome to have more clients. But guess what? The long play is that when you have watched this over the next 10 years, and then the amount of leverage, the amount of credibility that I will have to be able to say, hey, not only did I live in my store, I got proof. I got video proof. And not only did these techniques and things that I'm telling you get me to where I am, I was talking about this 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Here's the proof, because I got video showing you how I talked about meditation, how I talked about rituals, how I talked about, dudes, if you want to know how to last longer, this is how you breathe, this is how you focus, this is how you do it. I got proof of me talking about that over all these years, not just when I get there. And now I'm telling you about it, and you have to imagine it in your head, but I got proof, documented proof. How many of you would have been better seamstress if you was walking with Vera Wang when she was learning how to sew? How many of you? That's the part that's missing. All those programs that I've always studied, the Zig Ziglars, the Anthony Robbins, that's the part that was always missing, is the ability to truly connect with these people. This is why I started seeking failures. I started talking to the homeless. I started talking to people who have been in business and they didn't succeed, but they're still grinding. I started surrounding myself with those kinds of people. That is why a young lady that I coached a few years ago on opening up her business, she and her kids, yes, she and her kids, because this is an excuse that many of you are about to use. She and her kids moved into her store, stayed there for a year, built her company up, and now they're back into a better home than they were the first time. But that could not have happened if she wasn't willing to go through that fire. Y'all talk about this is fire, this is lit. Y'all don't understand what's fire. You don't understand how to go through and allow yourself to be purified, to allow all those iniquities to be cast out of you, so that you can then be shaped and molded and then placed into the nurturing water so that you can come out in your greatness. Because that is how you get to your greatness. You got to be willing to go through the fire. And if you're not willing to go through the fire, then greatness is not in you. But I know that you have greatness because you are a divine creature made by the Creator. So greatness is within you. And if you truly, truly want to see your greatness, then go through the fire and don't be ashamed. This is Uncle Renz of Uncle Renz Popcorn and your Coach Renz. Y'all have a great day.